Hi everyone. I thought that I would start the video a couple seconds early so that you could see Willow having a good little nap, because today's story has a dream in it. She's pretty cute, eh? We went for a really long walk today on a beautiful day. So we're going to start reading a story called The Sandcastle, and in it there's a fantastic dream that happens. So I'm going to switch it around and we're going to start reading right away. The Sandcastle by M.P. Robertson. There was nothing in the whole world that Jack liked more than building sandcastles. But as strong as he built the walls and as high as he built the towers, he couldn't stop the sea from stealing them away. He's made such a fantastic sandcastle that people are stopping to look at it. Have you ever made a sandcastle? At the end of a perfect day, Jack looked proudly at his latest sandcastle. The tide began to roll in and Jack stood stubbornly in its path. "Stay back, sea," he ordered. "This is my castle. I'm king here." But the sea just spit at his knees. Jack looked down and saw a glistening shell at his feet. He placed it on the highest tower of his sandcastle, then shut his eyes tight. "I wish my sandcastle were as big as a real castle, and I wish that I were king," he said. When he opened his eyes, he was disappointed to see that his castle hadn't grown an inch, and he was still just a boy on the beach. That evening, Jack woke to the squabbling of the gulls. He pulled back the curtains and rubbed his eyes in disbelief. His first wish had come true. Ooh, take a really good look. What do you see back there? Beautiful artwork in this book. Whoa, wow. Look at where Jack is. Can you see him? There he is. And I wonder where he's going. Look what's coming down. The gate, the drawbridge. Jack snuck down to the beach, and as he neared the castle, the drawbridge lowered. Jack wasn't scared. This was his castle, so he marched across. He was met at the gatehouse by a girl whose eyes were as blue as the ocean. "We've been waiting for you," she said, then placed a shell to her lips. She blew a long, salty note. Do you think the shell sounded like that? I woke Willow up. At her signal, the door to a great hall swung open. Jack was greeted by a fanfare of trumpets, and was led through a cheering crowd to a seashell throne. Do-do-do-do. Oh, even Willow's excited. The girl... Willow, shh. Oh, Willow. The girl placed a pearly crown on his head. "Hail, King Jack!" cheered the crowd. "King of the Sandcastle!" His second wish had come true. Wow, he's got his own crown. He's got a jester, trumpet players, people with fantastic hats. I wonder if they have horns under there. Or maybe that's Yoda's mom. Ooh, there's a party going on here. A band struck up a tune, and the girl led Jack to the center of the celebration. Into the night they danced. In the merriment, no one heard the waves slapping against the great doors. They're too busy having fun, having a party. Finally, the doors could no longer hold back the sea. With a thunderous crash, they gave way. The ocean roared in, sweeping people off their dancing feet. As the water washed over the crowd, they began to change. Jack watched in amazement as their feet became tails and their skin became scales. What are they turning into? Possibly mermaids? The girl dragged Jack up a staircase to escape the rising tide. From the battlements, he watched in horror as the sea bit chunks from his castle. "Stay back, sea," he ordered. "I'm a real king now. Look, I've got a crown." "You may be king," said the girl, "but even a king can't stop the sea." "I will give a bonus mark to the person that can tell me where these gargoyles are in real life." Oh, Willow, you can't go outside right now. The water continued to rise. Higher and higher they climbed, but the sea was always just one step behind, lapping at their heels. When Jack reached the top of the tower, he heard the girl say, "Good luck, Jack. Don't forget your fairy tale. You always get 3 wishes." Jack looked around, but the girl had vanished. All he saw was the flash of a tail disappearing into the sea. Still, the tide rose. Jack scrambled onto the highest tower. He found the shell that he had placed there the day before, but now it was as big as a boat. He pushed the shell into the water and climbed in. As the sea swallowed the last of his castle, Jack clung tightly to the shell. "I wish I weren't a king anymore, but just a boy safe at home in bed," he said. Far in the distance there came a long, salty note. The shell was lifted high on the crest of a wave and swept back to shore. When Jack woke up, he was no longer on the beach, but wrapped warmly in his quilt. Beside him on his pillow lay the shell. After breakfast, he hurried down to the beach. The sea had polished the sand as smooth as a mirror. As his new sandcastle began to take shape, Jack felt very happy. Being a king was fine, but there was nothing in the whole world Jack liked more than being a boy on a beach building sandcastles. And as the tide turned and licked at the walls of his castle, he just smiled. What do you think of that story, Willow? The end. That was a fantastic story. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be? You have to think very carefully and maybe do like Jack did and save one of them, just in case you get too far away and you don't know how to get back. What are your wishes? You can tell me about it. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll pick 2 new stories and you get to decide which one you want to read. Have a fantastic night. Good night.